How are you so fearless?
I saw it as an opportunity to just like process everything over the past 3 years.
It's odd. People can't understand how you can present as a certain way or be quite healthy and then suddenly be really unhealthy. I was winning the whole way.
You were winning?
Loads of people were watching.
No way. I am way outside of my comfort zone with this.
Why does it make me feel emotional?
I don't know. You don't have to be upset. It's good.
Oh, I know.
Light the room up, Lewis.
Welcome back to He Said, She Said.
Oh, you got a bit of food in the old nashes there.
Oh, no.
What have you just eaten?
And I had lipstick on my face. Can you get it out?
That's your pesto sandwich, isn't it?
Isn't it? No, I'm
Didn't got that. There you go. Oh, straight to it. Oh, you take that.
Oh,
Pesto.
nice.
Ew, soggy pesto.
I was going to give you a compliment on that co-ord, Ryan. This is very co-ordy.
Thanks very much, Zara and Adidas with me pink socks.
Nice cream look. Leveling it up.
Got to keep up with you.
Do you have
lot.
anything to say about my outfit?
Well, the chainmail look is quite festive / hardcore. I don't know if we're going to like some German like.
So you actually suit that look.
Nah.
Did you used to watch Charmed?
No, but go on.
Well, they were like a couple of witches. They were sisters. It was like a 90s show. And I
How's
feel like
that
I'm
gonna-
channeling that. I'm quite witchy today. Well,
How's
gossipy
post-production
witchy.
going to feel about that?
I don't know. It's not stripes.
Twinkling little star. Oh, good point.
Well, I've got a little he said. He said, New year, new me. No, thank you.
Totally made that up, but let's go with it. Let's go with it.
How do you feel about this whole, that hype around, like, I know that a lot of people in the new year set a lot of goals, don't they? They have a lot of big aspirations and we all kind of write a big wish list only to then feel like a failure, like a month in. People are often, a lot of it is sort of around the space of health and fitness, isn't it?
Yeah,
and we've worked in this industry for a while. And you in particular have worked in this industry for a while and you're a certified PT. So I'd love to know more about what you think about this trend.
Well, that's exactly what it is. It's a trend. And, just from my own experience of being a PT over the years, it's amazing. The first few weeks of January is fully loaded with ambition, energy, motivation. It's all there. But I don't know what happens. 2 weeks in, 3 weeks in, it just slowly tapers off. I think people start the new year with like really revved up ambitions, like you say. It's dry January. I'm going to hit the gym 5 times a week. I'm going to set up a new membership. I'm going to do spin after I do my weights and all these amazing ideas. But then, I don't know, life kicks in mid-January. I think people just kind of like wade their way through the start of January. They're like, okay, I'm going to start some new habits, but it takes time to ingrain the habits. It doesn't take just 2 weeks. And as soon as life starts to kick back in and responsibilities and all that kind of pressure, the first thing to go from this conversation in the sense of like health and fitness and new journeys, it's the commitment to the gym and maybe like the absence of the cheeky wine or beer or whatever it might be. So I don't know. I mean, my personal approach to it is very different. I try to have much more of a...
Well, it's interesting because there are a lot of people that make a lot of money out of this whole like fatty thing. And...
You mean like trainers or...
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess like the whole, trainers, activewear brands, sports drink brands, it's kind of like a big thing. And I guess there's a world in which we used to kind of sit in that camp. But then when we set up our fitness brand, the whole messaging behind it was actually like moving slowly, living slowly. Hence we called it the turtle method, which people always ask about it, like, why have you named your brand a turtle?
Should I address that?
Yes, please.
We called it the turtle method. We kind of stole it from the fable of the tortoise and the hare.
Yeah.
I... a race. One's going for the sprint, one's going for the schlong. The schlong? One's going for a schlong? That is not quite what we took from that story.
Massive schlongs.
We built it on a schlong. No. We wanted to build the brand values around the slow, sustainable approach to fitness. We didn't want to go down the quick and easy, fatty approach, which is just ultimately like the fast track to your own demise. Because you just fall into the same trap over and over again. You spend heaps of money, and it's a vicious cycle. You do it really well for a few weeks, you see some results, you rebound because life takes over, you reset, you go again, and it's just boom, 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 boom.
It's the yo-yo.
It's the yo-yo, yeah. So we wanted to create something that was manageable, realistic, something that wouldn't interrupt and overhaul your lifestyle, and that's why we call it the turtle method. It's a method based on the fable of the schlong. But yeah, so that, and I think that, that's a reflection of at least mine, but I think yours as well, our approach to health and fitness in general. I think in my early 20s, it was probably a little bit more hardcore and just wanted to get real strong and ripped up as quick as possible. But as you mature and get older and you appreciate everything that goes into it, because it's a puzzle, of many, many pieces. It's not just about the hours spent in the gym. In fact, I would argue it's more about the hours spent outside of the gym. What you're doing with your time, how you're sitting, sleeping, eating, drinking, what you're drinking, how stressed you are.
Well, that's the thing. It's the NEAT, isn't it? It's the, what is it, non-exercise something thermogenic activity?
Yeah.
You burn most of your calories just living, don't you? Existing, walking, moving, as you say, eating, sleeping, not actually burning in the gym. Gosh, it's crazy because I think both of our relationships with fitness has changed a lot over the last couple of years.
Mine's become more healthy. Yours has probably been forced in a direction.
Yeah, I think mine's a little bit fragile. You mentioned about the fable of the tortoise and the schlong, and talking about life being a marathon, not a sprint. God,
I did say that, but I meant to say that. Yes.
I'd hate to think about life like a marathon though, because that is honestly my worst nightmare, just the long slog. But you've actually got
the long schlong.
Because I fucking hate running, but you've actually got you're doing many marathons.
I am. I'll be the slow plodding Tesla out there.
How are you excited about it?
I feel quite nervous about it. It's typical Ryan.
So Ryan's actually running. You're taking part in something called the Marathon des Sables, which is how many marathons across the desert?
Well, yeah, it's a good question. You're better at maths than me. I don't actually know. So I'm doing 2 races. I'm doing one in January, which is kind of deemed like a training. Let's see how you go. That's 120 kilometers across the sand. But the big one, like the actual MDS legendary event, is April 4th to the 14th. And that's, I think it's 5 days. And that's a distance of 250 kilometers.
And the one in January, they're basically making you do just to see whether you're good enough to do
I think so, yeah.
I
think so, yeah.
So you actually have to do 2 of those separately. That's a big commitment throughout the year.
I don't have to. But this is like typical Ryan. I just see these opportunities come through and I'm like, yes, adventure, Sahara, Morocco. And I'm like, cool. I don't even look at the detail. I haven't really like...
That is so true. Like whenever Ryan gets invited to anything like the Vegas trip you went on, like without even getting an Esther until you turned up to the airport, I'm like, have you even asked about the itinerary?
It's good. It's a good point.
You commit.
I do. I commit, yeah. I'm a yes man, but to my own demise. So yeah, no, I feel quite nervous actually because we're now pretty close to the first one.
The thing about
and as you can see, I'm still pretty heavy.
which makes running a lot harder. I think people would look at you and think, well, you're the vision of health, right? So it would be...
Oh, I don't know.
That's what I thought because I knew nothing about running. I looked at you and I just assumed that you'd be really good.
I'm a 10-second man. Not in a sexual way, before you say it. But I'm like, good for... You give me something heavy and I'll bang it. No, I can't say bang it. I'll lift it for 10 seconds. But after that, I'm like... I still do it now with Carlos when I train downstairs. I should be training more smart for a marathon, but I'm like slinging 50 kg dumbbells and it's like, no, you got this wrong. Back to your question, interview me, let's go.
The thing that I admire about you is that you've done things like, because, I mean, I can't imagine a world in which I would ever agree to something like this. And you've been so relaxed about your training, which I think I have so much respect for. Like, you don't seem worked up about it. You're not fixating on it. You're not obsessing about it. You've got such a beautiful relationship with exercise. And you've taken part, I think, in 2 London marathons before. And you did them to support other people who wanted you there by their side. And you weren't all about getting the best time. You kind of just did it because you thought, why not? And equally when you did an amazing campaign. What was it? With Volkswagen, you
Transalpine race, yeah.
You did a Transalpine race across the Alps.
Yeah, I only did.
And that was many marathons. And I don't remember you prepping at all before that.
No, that was a mistake.
What's your headspace right now? Like, how are you so fearless?
Probably because I just have confidence in my upstairs, my sort of mental resilience.
So is it you can complete it because it's all in here?
Yeah.
Really?
I think so, yeah.
So even if you literally broke your ankle while you were doing it, you would just I mean, that's obviously a bit far-fetched, isn't it? But talk me through that. How?
I don't know. Oh, I don't know because
you know, I mean, and
it makes me. I don't want to sound sort of like ego or preachy, but the way that I'm programmed is to, because I don't overthink it. I don't then catastrophize or go to worst case scenario. I'm almost empty. I'm almost empty. I go into it empty. I do feel nervous because I'm like, I suppose I'm more nervous because it's on sand. I'm not nervous about the distance or the heat so much, but it's the fact that you're on sand. So, I mean, we take the piss out of my calves all the time, but...
because you've got small calves?
Yeah, thank you, yes.
Well, no, wait, what were you going to say?
Well, no,
you
yeah,
looked really shocked when I said that.
Yeah,
I, by the way, have got the
weak.
chunkiest, like most hideously big calves.
No, I'm jealous. Can we switch calves for the race? No, I just, being in that kind of like, yeah, well, I don't know what's the right word, but the fact that you're sinking into sand and you've got to keep propelling forwards, that's going to be exhausting. And I've got quite weird feet as well as weird calves, so we'll see how that goes. But to answer your question,
but
my little fairy twinkly chainmail pole vaulter.
Lost the plot.
No, jousting is what I was thinking of.
You've lost the plot.
I have lost the plot.
Oh, I'm in A Knight's Tale.
Yeah, R.I.P. Yeah, I just don't overthink it. You overthink things.
Well, by comparison, actually, when we first met, we met because I was supposed to be being paid to run a 5K, and that's obviously like really menial to a lot of people and quite pathetic. But I am not a runner and I really struggle with it. And I was once put in the cross-country team when I was at school and I had to be bribed with a curly whirly chocolate. And
I probably did it because you love them.
No, but I also was such a yes person, terrible at saying no and having boundaries. So I just nodded like a little nodding dog on the front of a car and said, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And I actually, God, it was round a track, not even in the Bundy. And I...
What's a Bundy?
No, I don't know. It's something my dad says. I actually think it's probably quite PC. Like not in the forest. And I was winning the whole way.
You were winning?
Loads of people were watching. And then in the last lap, everyone just bolted and overtook me.
No.
And it was really sad and I was out of breath. And I really struggled because I'm such an impatient person. So I'm a bit of a sprinter. And so with this 5K, I panicked because I'd actually never done it before. And I just I couldn't understand how I'm very good at like picking up things that I'm taught. But if there's something that no one's explained to me, I couldn't find a pace. I was just on a treadmill and I tried to sprint and I didn't know how to run.
Yeah, fair.
And so then I tried and I would go really quickly and then I'd burn out after about 10 minutes and I'd think, I can't keep doing this. And then I just imagined people watching me during that 5K and me being so out of breath, I'd have to just... Well, it didn't even cross my mind that I could be someone that would walk because there's nothing... shameful about walking and getting across that finish line. It just, to me, it was either... I was so scared about it. And I remember training, it was when we first met, we were paired together because your sister-in-law was doing all the PR for it. And I pretended to them, I was doing running magazine interviews, pretending I was some elite runner. And I had to pull out a few days before because I was having major panic attacks at night.
You overthought it, yeah.
I overthought it, and I was so consumed by...
You could have 100% done that race. You could do that race tomorrow, I reckon you could, despite everything.
There's also... I mean, I also am really short, so I will say that I think it's harder to run if you're short. Is that a thing?
You got the high elbows when you run. You're like, get out of my way. I've seen you run a few times.
I get really bad shin splints. Oh my God. It's just painful.
Your school sports day. Let's just live in that moment for a minute. You were not that long out of hospital and everyone was like, oh, Louise is back. Bless her. As soon as you lined up, you were like, I don't even know what you did. You did something. You flicked some kind of switch because you went into super mum mode. You left everyone for dead. And people on the sideline were like, what the fuck is wrong with that person? You were on that day. You won by a mile.
It was actually a bit embarrassing because I took it so seriously.
People were like laughing, you're right, Sarah, yeah, you're right, yeah. And you were like completely.
I know. People thought I'd sped up the video
I know.
When I shared it, I was so into it. Like I was
Full-blown
actually
commitment.
Usain Bolt. And then when I got to the finish line, I was like, yeah. Actually, it was a bit like you, Harry, the other day when we were playing that competitive game, and you were like, actually, she shouted, I love winning. And we were all, and you know, when you're so caught up in the adrenaline, you're like, yeah, me, power, like powerful woman. I love winning. Ooh, testosterone. And then you realize, you look around and you're like, there are actually people watching. And also, like, my son wasn't even there.
There's still people running at that point.
Yeah, there's still people running. My son didn't even care. He wasn't even watching. I just was doing it for myself. But then afterwards, I had people, and this is something that I battle with quite a lot with my chronic health condition, is that then I had a few of the mothers come up to me and say, how are you? I think from a place,
like, give me a minute.
From a place of like
taking your pulse, like, just give me a minute. Yeah.
Believe that you've had a surgery to be fair, it was about 5-6 months after the surgery. But I don't think that they could piece together the fact that I'd been speaking about having like an organ removed and then being able to sprint. I think I surprised myself, to be honest, but I think sometimes it's odd. People can't understand how you can present as a certain way or be quite healthy and then suddenly be really unhealthy, you know, in quite a short period of time. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of lowering the tone a little bit. Yeah, it was a good moment. And I think this year, hopefully we can find more time for being active together, because I think it's really important and it might not look like how it did before, but I'm really excited to come and watch you.
Are you going to come? You're like,
It's quite soon, isn't it? What are we doing? Why are we not planning?
I have planned it. I got you a plane ticket.
Would you like us to be there?
I think logistic for the big one in April.
Yeah.
It would be great if you could both be there. Yeah, because I think you could stretch that out as a sort of holiday for you guys. You could stay at the hotel. Well, how many days? So I'll be in the desert. So I think the structure is I'll be at the hotel for 2 days, out in the desert for 5, back for 2. So you could come out for a week or just over a week. And
are they both in Morocco?
Yeah.
Have you been to Morocco before?
Oh God, sorry. I'm freaking out.
Ryan, you really haven't actually. You just.
God, here we go.
You haven't, like, you're so relaxed about this marathon. It's so cool. Like, you haven't complained about it once. Like, I haven't heard you talk about your feet. I don't even know what you're wearing. Like, I'm actually amazed that you have a plane ticket. You're horizontal. Are you all right?
Just check my pulse.
What? Oh my God, do you remember when we were talking about the Marathon des Sables with my mum?
Don't mention the
and
body
we were
bags.
talking about, and my mum said, "Oh my goodness, this is such a big deal."
Yeah, apples does not fall far from the tree.
No, but it's hype for you. Yeah, but we're
I
also
mentioned
quite,
the Marathon des Sables, and your mum went straight to body bags. She was like, "Have you packed your body bag?"
Okay, apparently back in the day, you used to have to pay to take like a body bag back out with you with the special return plane ticket in case you died in the desert, and they would have to. I think
the whole event, competition, race, whatever, has moved on quite a bit. They've got medical teams.
What's the furthest you've run now, up until this point?
As in for the training or in my life?
Both.
For the training, I haven't actually done more than 20k in the training. So I'm 100 off, for context. And in my life, well, the marathon distance, so 42, 43. Okay. To answer your question, I'm way off.
You're doing it with a friend?
I'm doing it with a friend. I'm doing it with 2 friends. I'm doing the
Are
one.
they both doing it?
The one in January, just one of them. The one in April, both of them.
Do you have the thing I always ask? I'm so curious when it comes to running, because it's just a world that I can't get my head around. Will you be comrades? Will you be hand holding, and you stick at a similar pace, or is it every man for themselves?
No way. I am way outside of my comfort zone with this. These guys I'm running with are really fit blokes, much more experienced. Well, one of them is. But we will be doing it as a team for sure, yeah. Because there's going to be moments where, because it's such a spread out race, and it's a big distance, there will be moments for each of us to go through the hurt locker with some, whatever it is. And then we'll have moments of feeling quite good, I'm sure. It's definitely a team thing, yeah. I
think it's safe to say you're someone that really likes eating, and you maybe get a bit grumpy when you don't eat.
Yeah,
you basically get severely hangry, and it's unpleasant. how are you going to fuel? No. You know,
Yeah.
in a I love
You
you
know.
way, in an I love you way,
You
but
know.
also it's pretty scary.
Okay.
How, like, what's the nutrition situation out there?
Got to carry everything on my back for the whole race.
And what is that then?
Means if I have more in my bag, then it's more weight for me to carry.
So you're going to come back really skinny?
Hopefully not, but it's possible, yes.
And are you going to be stealing food from other people's
Yes,
backpacks?
hence it's a team event. Carry my rations, please.
But and presumably you can't cook, or are you sleeping overnight?
No, so you basically run to your, they call it a, Harry will know, bivouac? Bivouac? Is it a French word? The fact I don't even know what it's called, it really just adds to the story, doesn't it? It's basically a campsite where you've got your designated tent. That's where you can cook some food, but I have to cook it. It's not like you're going into like a canteen or a kitchen. It's like you decamp yourself with all your water and food, mullered from the day of running in the desert, do your thing, patch up your feet and whatever else, sleep a little bit on the floor with the snakes, and then you wake up and do it again.
The desert snakes.
Probably, yeah, probably.
What's your biggest phobia?
Snakes.
Ryan hates the snakes.
Do.
Like, even a cuddly toy that's a snake, like, even if you hiss, it freaks you out. You once saw a picture. I went to a Guinness World Record. You know that book, the Guinness Book of World Records, is that it?
Do I know that? Yes, I know that book.
Yeah, did you used to get that in your stocking?
Every year.
Why is that not? We need to get another one of those.
Pretty busy in there already.
What, in the bookshelf? I went to one of their parties and I held like one of the biggest snakes. I had it around my neck.
Oh, God,
And I
no.
remember when you saw the photo, you almost threw up. So what are you gonna? Oh, maybe there aren't snakes in the desert.
I'll just throw the boys in front of me. You handle that. When I did the Transalpine race, I was running with a really, really, really fit guy, and I literally was taking his food and water off him. No, because
Max.
Yeah, because I am so big, I burn calories a lot faster than these typical runners who are very slimline and fit. Not to mention, like, their whole energy systems is really built for that. So
Because
for
actually,
me,
the more muscle mass you have, the faster your metabolism.
so I'm burning calories much faster, which means I have to replace them much faster. So that is actually a big worry. Carlos, who I'm running with, is like, dude, you need to figure out what your nutrition strategy is going to be, because that is a potential handbrake moment on the whole thing.
I'm actually genuinely, I don't know why I'm laughing. I'm actually being serious. I'm actually quite worried about that for you.
Trouble is, though, these gels and stuff, they give you the worst
Bum.
bum. And I mean, it's very sugary, so it's like, oh, well,
What, and where are you pooing? Do you just dig a little hole in the sand?
you're in the Sahara Desert.
Okay, so what are you?
You're surrounded by
Are you doing a
dunes.
Paula Radcliffe? Did she poo once when she ran a marathon in her pants?
Yeah, but that was not in the desert. That was in Paris, in front of a TV crew, in a drain.
Oh, I thought it was just actually in her pants, but she did stop.
Oh yeah, she stopped.
Oh, I thought she was like, I'm just so into this, into
I
winning and
actually
cutting down the
saw
time, so
something
I'm actually
recently.
just pooing in my pants. Which, to be fair, I'm not judging for because I've done it many times.
You're the only person in the world when I'm like beyond the start of a sentence. I'm mid, but you're still going. You're like, and I'm like, have you not clocked that I'm talking? I don't get it.
I started that time. Go.
I saw on the TV recently, there was a triathlete woman. She was running. She won the thing, right? I don't know where it was, but she literally turned around. She said to the cameraman on a motorbike, "Do you mind not filming my bum? I've just pooed myself, mate." And they had to like leave her. I was like, fair play. She did it so calmly. Little Australian or Kiwi or something. I've just pooed myself, mate.
To be fair, it's only natural. Like, why are we so...
But I was like, you've had
freaked
those
out?
nasty gels. They get you. Anyway, mate, in the desert, it's free for all. Do your thing. I won't even dig a hole. Drop trowel.
You might as well just run naked, actually. Then you don't even need to drop trowel. You could be like a horse.
Might
just
get
lift up your tail. And
Might get my
plop
tail.
it out. Your little coccyx.
Oh, well, I thought you were going to say something else then. I don't want my gooseberries flopping around in the desert. That would be chafe central.
Do you have to wear special running... When you're a bloke, like, what happens to your willy when you run? Or do you wear, like, tight...
I actually when men do sports in general, willy retreats.
Willy, no adverb.
It's called athlete's cock. It actually is. I think it's a defense mechanism.
Wait, so hang on. Oh, fight or flight, like run.
Well, like if you're playing rugby, football, whatever sport it is, like you want to minimize the danger, right? So you're like, I need to protect my bits. So cock and balls shrivel.
What, and they go like inside a bit?
No, not inside. I don't even know that. Not inside, but the
like,
blood from your old boy it goes elsewhere, and you're like, oh my God.
Well, it's probably going to the muscles, right?
Yeah, but I'm answering your question in a PG way, yeah?
And also when you get really cold,
Yeah.
it also does that.
Yeah, it's quite alarming. You feel confident at the start line or the start of the game, then you look down and you're like, oh God, don't feel so confident now. It's bad.
Can you feel it though, or is it just when you see it?
No, you can't actually feel it. That's part of the problem. You're like, hello?
No, I mean, like, can you feel that it's like getting smaller?
What? You're making me like tense up here. What's happening? Let's stop talking about willies. It's a family-friendly podcast.
Why can't I stop smiling?
Because we're talking about willies. Don't know.
So you don't really need to wear anything special. Oh, you get like a little bit of chafing, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Because you've got such big legs.
I'll be wearing my base layer over and above.
What are you most excited about?
Well, again, back to our conversation last week, it's not even the fact that I'll cross the finish line, it's just the experience along the way. I signed up to this originally because, one, I'm super relaxed about these things, but two, I saw it as an opportunity to go somewhere very extreme and just like process everything over the past 3 years. And that might not be through conversation, it might just be through grinding something very difficult out and just sweating, crying, shouting, whatever. Because in reality, it is a very big task. And for me, being this size and not particularly fit, it will be very difficult for me to do. There'll be people there who are really set up and experienced and designed to do that kind of thing. But for me, it's not. I'm not that person. But yeah, I'm excited to just go through the experience. Also, 5 years from now, when Leo's doing a geography lesson, he's like, Daddy, do you know where the Sahara is? And I'll be like, do I know where the Sahara is? Let me tell you about that. That's quite cool.
That's so cute. So you're doing it to make yourself proud, but also to make Leo proud. Or you're doing it to.
I just want to have ammunition for my son. I don't suppose he'll feel proud of me until he's my age, looking back. But I want to have ammunition. I want to share stories with him and offer some sort of tale or learning from those experiences that I've had. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
So that was a big motivation for me, yeah.
Do you get a big kick out of like really pushing yourself? Will you feel high?
To be honest, I don't know if I...
Like, are you one of those people that feels like you have to get like that hit out of doing something quite extreme?
If I think back to the Transalpine race, I mean, I didn't feel like super elated to cross the line. And when they handed the medals and stuff over, like I couldn't care less about that stuff. I think I left it in my hotel room when I came home. It's weird. I go through it on the way, do you know? Yeah. It's a very intrinsic motivation. Some people are very extrinsically motivated. They like the trophies, the medals, maybe the accolades, which is fine because it works really well and some people really excel. But for me, on this occasion in particular, it's very intrinsic and inward, a bit like therapy, I suppose. And actually, the boys I'm running with, I have confided in them a lot over the past few years, more so in the last 12 months. So they know my story, they know the context. If I'm sobbing my way through 20 kilometers, they'll know why.
Why is it making me feel emotional?
I don't know. You don't have to be upset. It's good.
No, I know. It's just so cool. I think it's really. I think it's a really nice reason. It's a really good reason to do it. To see it as like a form of therapy and like a release. I think it's great.
Do you want to come with?
I also I get really emotional. I think it's like really cool when people do really.
Well, shout out to you, the London
Special
landmarks.
things.
Remember that half marathon I did? You managed to, with child in a pram.
Shout out to me. I didn't even do it.
Mate.
I just watched you. Why am I getting the shout out?
Well, because you're being nice to me, so I'm mirroring. London landmarks half marathon with child and pram. Literally flying up and down tube station steps and stuff to see me at different spots. I was like, how again, I didn't even know where I was running. I was just following a crowd. You managed to pick me out on a half marathon in the city centre. Madness.
Well, it's because there's an app, babe.
Oh, okay, well.
So I followed you, but it was hard.
Did you track me?
At one point, I left the pram. Leo was in the pram, and I was trying to get up these steps because you were coming over the bridge, and I was like, I'm going to miss you. And the whole pram, and I had about 5 bags, and the whole pram like collapsed, like half of it just fell out, and I just left the pram, like under a tunnel, and I just ran up like with Leo and half the pram, and then I was like, someone could have just stolen it.
That was one of the coolest moments I've seen ever.
Oh, just me following you around the marathon?
No, because it wasn't just you following me around the marathon. Like, you were, like, just
so
insanely into it. And I was like, this is epic. I was like, sign me up for the next one, just so I can see this again.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then I have to see you. It's because sport is so cool. Like, it's that, like, determination, that, like, passion. It's the adrenaline. It's so attractive seeing somebody, you know, really like push themselves and try really hard at something. I think it's really, I get so enthusiastic, you know, even watching my brother do soccer aid, or when I do watch people do the marathon, and especially, of course, when it's people I know, watching you do that half marathon, which you did. I can't remember why. It was for, you know, some like great cause.
Mind's
it was
charity.
for Mind Charity, but you took it on really last minute, just without any hesitation. And I think it's so impressive. So that's why I'm so eager to support people that do things like that. It's also something that I know I can't do. So I then have so much more admiration for people for doing it.
Oh, I'm going to sign up some more then.
I don't think it's easy. Yeah. Well, don't be like...
No, it won't be. I only, you know, I like to do things that feel right for me at the right time. You know, I'm not sort of jumping on the trend of... I feel like there's a bit of a trend around running. And when this invitation came through, it was actually last summer. You know, so it's sort of been 6 months in the making, I suppose, or more. During which time another one of your ex-boyfriends has done a much more impressive run across the sand. So, screw you.
But the fantastic thing about it is that it's you're not someone that's doing, you would never do anything as a competition. Like, as you said, it's the motivation is intrinsic, so it's all about what's inside and what you're going to gain from it. And you're doing it with close friends, and it's you're going to get a lot out of it.
Yeah,
which I think is really cool.
I'm nervous, but I'm excited for sure. And it's quite nice to talk about it because it makes it feel more solidified in my mind. Because it is nice to be relaxed, but at the same time, it's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, like get motivated.
Oh, the motivation's there, but it's like you got to, like, I don't know. There's probably lots of admin with medical forms and stuff that I always leave to the last minute.
Do you need any help?
Yes, it's on the fridge.
It's on the fridge? Yeah. It's a form.
There's a medical form on the fridge, which is blank.
I kind of think that... Actually, no, I'm going to...
You're going to say men are just terrible at admin.
I'm going to say, like, men, all children? Do you ever really grow up? Are you like Peter Pan?
All men, children,
no,
yes.
I'm
Yes. I'm going to go with yes on that one. I feel like some men might pretend they're not, but men and children, yeah.
Yeah, that's cute.
Anyway, enough about me and my adventures. What about you? How's your little bod going?
My bod, it's really weird, isn't it? Because do
you miss it? Do you miss your old bod?
I don't miss sort of my old bod when I look in the mirror at my bod and think, oh, I wish that I had that. But I miss elements of my old life, and especially just being able to feel like really free with what I do, because with a lot of the things I do, there is like an undercurrent or like just something in the back of my head which is so mindful that I could do damage, and that like really is a burden. You know, when it comes to kind of eating and moving, and massively exercise is probably like the big thing that has changed for me. I mean, I'm always trying to get like enough sleep, and I'm not living
like you used to.
Like I used to, and I'm not free. And I look at other people and I think, like, I'm not like you. And I'm sure a lot of people would think that for whatever reasons that they're suffering with. But, you know, I don't feel, I'm obviously, you know, I'm not going to say I'm disabled. I don't feel like fully able-bodied. And that's really hard for someone with my levels of energy, and for someone that has loved exercising and sport more so my whole life. Like I loved sport when I was at school. I was so active, and I love, you know, like we spoke a bit about it last week, but I'm also quite sort of, I do love like that outdoorsy thing, like tire flipping, swimming.
I've never seen you flip a tire, but
well, no, I have. Like I love like pushing myself. Ugh, it's kind of like, it is a bit sad.
Well, do you think you'll get back there? Or?
But I don't know, because everything is a little bit uncertain at the moment. I think the hope is that I could maybe have like a further surgery and then I'm just done.
Right, yeah.
But I just started to exercise.
Yeah.
Before I then had, you know, that disaster with all the peritonitis. So once again, it's kind of planted that seed of doubt in my head that I'll be able to do it, because I'll be worried that something will erupt inside me. And I remember.
But you can't.
Yeah, it was like our whole life. I used to exercise like 5 days a week. I had unlimited energy. I'd wake up at 5 and I loved it. And I was just really, really lucky. And, you know, I didn't take it for granted. But you do look back and you think, gosh, I would do anything to have that flexibility. Did you take it for granted?
I feel like it is easy to take.
I think the thing that you take for granted is what your body looks like at the time, and I guess a bit what you're capable of. Because, and I was speaking to some of my girlfriends actually about this yesterday, you know, even if I look back at like videos that I took of myself a year ago, I think, gosh, I remember back then thinking, oh, you know, I could be this, I could be that, it could be better. Oh, you know, and you nitpick. But then you look back and I was thinking, gosh, I was like fabulous then. Like my hair looked great. Like I didn't have a stoma bag. Like I was able to do this and that. And even when I was really, really, really fit, so at the sort of pinnacle, peak fitness, I didn't really appreciate how fit I was until I think it was around the time, it was during lockdown and we were exercising a lot and hosting all those classes. And then we went away on a trip when we were finally allowed to. Yeah. And then about a month after that, I looked back at the photos and I was like, God, I was so fit. Like my body was so...
Was that the Montreux trip?
No, it was actually when we were in Mykonos. But you don't feel it at the time. It's always got to be like a reflective thing. Yeah, and you probably relate to that too. But I want to find ways to be active together because we really enjoy it, and maybe that looks like finding a new sport for us.
I feel like you could do skiing on your head. You're that good.
But skiing is really actually quite physical, and obviously then I have slightly bad memories with doing that last January, so I'm, you know, a little bit...
No, can I just say, I don't think you should let that... The reason that you had a really unpleasant trip is because of the air travel out there. I think the pressure of the flight always flares up your tummy situation.
Yeah.
It's not the skiing. And also, like, is it that physically exerting when you're that good? Because you are that good at skiing. You just...
You're very sweet.
Well, you don't get the leg burn like I do because I'm trying to, like, carve and keep up. You're just...
I mean, I would love to ski more. There are loads.
Let's go.
Last weekend, I know, Ryan, you're like pushing me to do all this cool shit, but because we did watch all of the ski racing last weekend on the TV, and it made me think. I then felt really jealous that I used to just be able to do that whenever. Like I could just do whatever I want, whenever I wanted, in terms of like physical activity. And now I can't. Like I wouldn't be able, and that's awful. Like I wouldn't be able to just do a ski jump. Like even when you booked to go horse riding. God, I don't want to make this really tragic, but 3 months after my stoma surgery, I was petrified about going up and down on a horse. You know, it's not something that would even cross my mind. Soho Farmhouse, because we were trotting, and then I was so worried about that and the impact that it would have on my butt, which has basically been,
sure.
you know, destroyed. So, I mean, I dabbled with like swimming, didn't I, early on in my recovery post.
What about some like gentle racket sports, a bit of pickleball?
I think that would be really good, but maybe we can start playing tennis.
Yeah, mate, I'm always
fencing.
Nope.
What kind of lame ass sports can we do together that are going to be really low key on my bod?
Snooker.
Darts. With our dad bods and a big beer.
We're gonna be that couple that goes to a pub, like not for a pint, but move out of the way. We're taking the snooker table.
Wait, well, hang on. There must be a few things. Come on.
Nah, come on. No, I'm aiming higher than this. We're going skiing again. When you're ready, you're gonna have a great time. We're gonna play paddle, tennis, pickle. I don't know what the fuck pickleball is, but we'll play it.
It's the same as paddle.
Is it? I haven't played paddle yet.
Well,
I'm the only one in the world, I think. No.
What else can we do?
Go and shoot
we
some
used
hoops.
to do, but also we used to do all of that could be cool.
What?
Yeah, like a bit of basketball.
Yeah.
We used to do all those acrobatic videos. Do you remember
hang
that
on,
now
no.
people are like obsessed
We can't
with?
do that anymore. Can't be like spinning you up here with.
So isn't that crazy that you just never know what's around the corner? It was only like a month ago. It was the day we were recording this podcast, or maybe 2 months ago now, when we did that spinny thing. And you were like, I'm scared to turn you. And we just did it. And I was like, no, I know my body. Like I'm fine. Yeah, I've got a stone in my back, but that's like not going to flip upside down and like disappear inside my stomach just from
I thought it
doing
was
like a
gonna
little
spray me in
like
the
curly
face.
whirly like cartwheel. Well, that's a bit full on, isn't it?
Well, I don't know.
But then,
don't know
and it
what
was
the-
fine. But now I'm like more, I've had this and the next thing. So it's just, it's frustrating having to, play your life out, like just live week by week and see what's happening.
Well, hopefully you'll recover.
But I'm in a slightly like tender spot at the moment.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not trying to rush you, by the way. I'm just trying to like be optimistic about what your recovery might serve up, which will be you'll be fitter and stronger. You might be able to get on skis,
Yeah.
or you might be able to shoot some hoops or kick a football with Leo. I think we've got to foster that environment for him because we're both sporty and we want him to be sporty without being forceful.
Forcey. Let it run. Don't lie.
What?
You want him to be an athlete.
True. It's true. I feel like yeah, I do.
But I think that's because you really wish that you wanted to be a rugby player and you feel like you weren't like, that wasn't cultivated enough for you in your childhood.
Yeah.
That opportunity.
That's true. And because of that, I will cultivate the right environment for him. And it helps that his mum is very sporty as well. So,
Well, I'm really good at catching a ball.
no, you're really good at every sport.
I'm not anymore.
You are. Oh, my head's gone. Right, Louise, would you like a listener's message? We've got one.
Hit me.
Okay.
My legs.
All right, he said, just tell me what I can do to help, okay? Let me set the scene for you.
Okay.
Tell me what I can do to help.
Sorry, start again.
Tell me what I can do to help.
Okay.
Just tell me.
Okay. Whoa.
I'm getting
Is this
his
you
I'm getting
or are
his
you
character.
talking about the person?
No, I'm really selling the story. This is both Okay, you ready? Tell me you're ready.
I don't know whether you're like joking right now.
This is both a sweet thing to say and infuriating as a mum of a 3-year-old that is 7 months pregnant. Okay. God love my partner for asking and trying to be supportive. At the same time, I want to scream. Open your eyes, look around you and do. The mental load of a woman/mum is nothing like I've ever experienced. It often feels like we're CEOs of everything. Everything being hundreds of tiny, minute decisions that make the family function. Why, though? Men and women both know we have teeth and our children have teeth. So why is it up to women to manage dental appointments? Are we just better at being organised? Is it lingering learnt behaviour from decades ago? I don't know, but it's a strain on my relationship and many of my friends' relationships too. It often feels like women are juggling so many balls, they are always a millisecond away from dropping them all, and men are off outside to cut the grass. This is...
Cutting the grass in the country house.
Yeah, but I've had a very different experience to this. So anyway, wow, this felt good to write down. I may have to start journaling too. Right, so this is a full download of how she's feeling. I don't know what the question is. Let me ask you again.
Is that the end?
Yeah, it's basically she's getting very ticked off at the fact that her husband's asking, just tell me what to do, when she's like, can you not see what to do? Before you answer, let's not turn this into Ryan, you're a fine whatever, okay?
But there is a thing where some people just...
You just went, there is a flaw.
Where some people just...
There is a flaw.
They just like absorb tasks. They're like, oh, I can see... I have the foresight to go and do that because... they just like, they sort of inhale the tasks. To actually be constantly asked to pick up your boxes from the floor, wipe up the wee on the loo seat, put the toothpaste lid back on. It might sound cliche, but some of those things are just irritating when you can't just see to do them automatically.
So at the end of it, she says, well, that felt good to write down. Maybe I'll start journaling. That sort of suggests that maybe she doesn't communicate enough in the relationship. Because if she felt quite good about that download to us, it sort of suggests that he might not know, the husband or boyfriend might not know that she's carrying so much frustration about it. So maybe that's like a place to start with this.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I think it's something that people relate to a lot. I mean, obviously, like when you've got a 3-year-old, there is an enormous load, but I think it's a nice thing that he's asking if there's anything that he can help with, or what he could do, even though it might feel infuriating. I think it sounds like he might be like slightly sort of, if you can reframe that question and see it as something that's really helpful, instead of being kind of so burnt out that you're frustrated by the fact that they're asking and that they should just have the initiative to do it on their own, then that might help, because there's like another person in the relationship, isn't there? And we're always focusing on our own load without maybe being so aware of what the other person is also doing. And I think, look, if you've clearly got so much going on, and that's like weighing heavy on you, maybe you do need to just write out everything. And it might be as simple as putting like a big long task list on the fridge and kind of going through it like that.
Not sure if dudes like lists on the fridge, but okay.
Well, this is interesting then. Tell me, talk to me about that. Why did you not like lists on the fridge?
Not sure if I'm not sure. Ooh, I just
Are you just checking yourself out on that phone?
Checking my hairline.
Yeah.
Okay, checking my hairline.
Okay, all right.
Thank you for drawing attention to it.
I'm intrigued. Why would the list on the fridge thing be a bad suggestion?
I don't know. It's a generalized thing, but I don't necessarily like being given lists of things to do. But that's pretty because I already know. It's just I need to go at it in my own way. That's just me being me. I don't like being told what to do. You know this.
So how? But then, can you communicate about it? Like, okay? So here's the thing. Role play. If I really wanted you to do something,
Yeah.
which is kind of a common, frequent thing. What is the best way to present that idea to you? Because my mum had this issue with my dad, and she often says with men, you've got to sort of present an idea and then let them think that it's their own and come back to you when it's their own idea. So like it might be a few days later, and they're like, yeah, no, I want to do that. I want to do that.
What's the best way for you to go about it? Probably just sling me a text. Just clinical.
Text?
Yeah, just clinical.
Like basically, as long as I'm a mute, like it can't come out of my mouth because I'm going to say it wrong.
No. First of all, I wouldn't want it on the fridge as like a constant reminder of like, here's what you got to do, dude. Sling me a text, let me look at it, and I'll handle the rest.
Yeah, in like a few days once it's your own decision.
But you'll get the result. That's how bloke work. That's how we work.
Oh, I love that. This is like huge new skill unlocked. Okay, so text.
You already do this, by the way. You already do it. You send me now and again a little list on text, and I'm like, all right. But when you
don't want to feel like you're being badgered or mothered.
If you hit me first thing in the morning with things that you need me to do, or last thing at night, you can. That's not the time. You know that. Just you know that anyway.
No, I don't. We've never spoken about this before.
Okay, well, great. Let me tell you. Don't ask me first thing in the morning, because the morning is like, that's me trying to get into my groove. I'm already freaking out. We've got 2 dogs pooing it over there. Leo's like doing his thing. And then if you're on top of that, asking me to do like, do you mind just going down the road and getting my dry cleaning? And then
that's not a realistic example.
I'm like, oh. Equally so. Last thing at night, all I want to do is just relax, watch and sleep.
But this is the thing, and this is just life. It's just mental, because it's like first thing in the morning, no. Last thing at night, no. And then in the day, like you're working so not with each other. So essentially, the conversations just don't happen.
No, they
and that's why you've just got to fucking be independent. If you want something done, do it yourself. That's the answer.
Just be a bit more like accurate with your timings. Anyway, this is
just do it.
Well, yeah. Can you take the bings out? Yeah, actually, yeah. Little soft entry into it. Bit of foreplay before we go big.
You're not even joking. Or bribe. Basically go, hey, I'll get with you if you come upstairs and move those boxes.
Dude, if I say that to any bloke, they'd be like, yep. Especially at this stage of life.
Yeah, that's actually what it's come to.
Listen, she's already got a 3-year-old and she's 7 months pregnant. This woman is probably pretty antsy anyway. She's uncomfortable. She's like, oh, I'm carrying all this. She's probably thinking, you're not doing much. We don't know the context. He might be at work all day, every day. And he's like, I'm doing a lot. Just back up. Do you know, there's context here that we don't know about, but I'm just going to say it looks like she felt good by expressing her concerns. This person might want to then just have a sit down conversation and just be like, hey, here's what I'm struggling with. Do you mind picking up a bit of slack here, doing a bit more there? And the bloke will probably be like, yeah, sure. Or he'll be like, just text it to me quickly. I don't know.
What I'd say is just remember you're not alone, lady.
Oh, here we go.
There's a whole lot of ladies out there feeling exactly the same.
Oh, here we go. I'm putting the headphones on. You keep saying your piece.
And that is it. Tune in
Grand.
again next week. Send in your dilemmas. Because my relationship is perfect.
Try your headphones on. What? You look quite sweet in headphones. Go on.
Do I look cute?
Yeah.
It's a good job you're not a pilot. Oh no, you look quite sweet. You look sweet when you're... Oh.
How can I look sweet?
No, because you don't. You look
No,
horrible.
because you don't.
I like it when we do an episode and I learn stuff about you, Rosie. And I feel like it's actually helpful for our relationship too.
Massage my feet, please.
I've learned quite a lot today. From you.
Summarise it, what have you learnt? Let's just make sure you were listening properly.
If I'm nice to you, you're actually a lot nicer to me.
Yes. I told you from... What episode was it when we talked about, like, I'll mirror what you give me? It's a simple formula.
Yeah,
Just
but
gotta
I'm
listen.
not going to be like too gushy.
If you're like this, like, I'm going to do the same back. If you're like, dude, I admire you for running, I'd be like, dude, I admire you for supporting. Let's go. See, mate, men are not complicated, I swear. Well, anyway, thanks for that one. That was a fun one. Don't forget to like, subscribe. You can catch us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple.
You're so giddy.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys. Same time next week. Adios.